New Thought Media Network proudly presents Realizing Wholeness with Dr. Ali Benjamin. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Live on New Thought Media Network and YouTube.com. Now, let's join Dr. Ali in Realizing Wholeness.
Hello and good evening and welcome to Realizing Wholeness. I'm Ali Benjamin and I'm so happy to be here to do a little spiritual deep dive, a little check-in, and I'd love to know where you are and what's alive in you this evening. You can drop a comment. I think I can see it on Facebook. If you say something, I'd love to know that you're watching. And let's see. Okay, I'm going to drop a comment. All right. Okay, so every Thursday I jump on and share a little bit about what I'm feeling in the world and what I'm sensing is going on within my friends and my circles and on my algorithm. There's Michael. Hi, Michael. And so I thought today we would explore this process of letting go. It's something that I've been practicing for some time now based on my reading of this book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And he's authored many books and you've probably come across them. And I'm really enjoying reading this. And he shares this technique of letting go. And so that's what we'll get to in the meditation. He also talks about all of the emotions that us as humans tend to experience. And I don't know if it was just his study that came up with these numbers, but he's associated a number to each emotion. And so lower emotions would be, hey Cheryl, lower emotions such as hatred or anger would be, low, have a low number. And then at the very top of the scale is enlightenment, which I think is anywhere between 7 and 1,000. And then there's emotions like peace and love and joy, and those are really high in the 400s and 500s. And so the whole premise is that if we as a human being can be keeping our energy and our emotions up in those higher numbers, then we have greater access to our creativity, to productive thinking. And so we're better able to have self-awareness and self-mastery if we can hang out in those higher emotions, those higher feelings. And so apparently, and I'll share this and you can tell me if it aligns with you, we as humans haven't been we haven't been taught how to process our emotions efficiently and effectively. And so what happens is we have a negative emotion and then we try and get rid of that. So if we're feeling disappointment, let's say, or sadness, let's use sadness, and we're feeling sad about something, and we know that sadness isn't a good thing, so we try and distract ourselves. We engage in a habit, or we try and suppress that sadness. Sometimes it's even repressed. We don't even have conscious awareness that we're feeling a particular emotion, and in this example, sadness. So our body has a way of bypassing it and just maybe indulging in a behavior, a habit that isn't so good, or there's some that we can do that we become that becomes our go-to or our default if our body is signaling that there's an uncomfortable emotion. And so we have all these strategies and tactics for avoiding our emotions. When in the animal kingdom, wild creatures, not domesticated ones like us, but in animals in their natural environment, have a tendency to process their fears and I'll use that as an example, fears, in a more biologically, physiologically healthy way. So it doesn't linger or continue to interfere with their energy, their chi, their life force energy. So you'll see, let's say an antelope has been chased by a lion, and the antelope outruns the lion, and then it gets to a safe place. And when it feels safe, then it will go into a mode or a process of shaking or just being really in a place of not doing anything, not eating, not drinking, not walking, but just allowing that energy to move through and let go. So that's kind of the premise of Dr. Hawkins' teaching here with letting go. So he says, letting go is like a sudden cessation of an inner pressure or the dropping of a weight. It is accompanied by a sudden feeling of relief and lightness with an increased happiness and freedom. It is an actual mechanism of the mind, and everyone has experienced it on occasion. And so letting go in general, we know what it's like to carry a burden, carry a worry, or even carry something heavy. There's a relief when we set that heavy thing down, or we have a conversation and with a loved one that there's been some stuck energy, and we have a productive conversation, and there's a level of acceptance and maybe even forgiveness. There's a deep surrender in that letting go experience that isn't just mental, although there are components of it being a mental release or let go. It isn't simply emotional, although there is an emotional release. It's also physiological, and we unburden our body. And our body, it's said, is really a representation of our subconscious mind. So if we're carrying a lot of burdens, a lot of worries and sadness, or whatever the heaviness is, then if we're not going to process it effectively, it can end up in our bodies, and we can have physical conditions. It can end up being repressed or suppressed, and then that can cause emotional outbursts, and those feelings will tend to bubble back up. So he says in this book, letting go is being aware of a feeling, letting it come up, staying with it, and letting it run its course without wanting to make it different or do anything about it. It means simply to let the feeling be there and to focus on letting out the energy behind it. The first step is to allow yourself to have the feeling without resisting it, venting it, fearing it, condemning it, or moralizing about it. It means to drop the judgment and to see that it is just a feeling. It is resistance that keeps the feeling going. When you give up resisting or trying to modify the feeling, it will shift to the next feeling and be accompanied by a light sensation. A feeling that is not resisted will disappear as the energy behind it dissipates. So that's what we're going to do today in our practice. I'm going to guide you through the process of letting go, of inviting a feeling up, and then not doing what you usually would do, get busy doing something, or go get a drink or something to eat, or watch a TV show, or jump on social media, or whatever we do to try and avoid feeling that feeling. But we simply just let it be without thinking about it, trying to understand it, trying to explain it, or justify it, or anything like that. We simply have the feeling and sit with it for 90 seconds. So we're going to try this. So I invite you to think of a feeling. Think of maybe something that's come up in the last day or in the last week. And if you've been watching the news, or if you've been on social media, which I've been on social media, and I know that there's a lot of feelings that are up for people. A lot of anger, a lot of confusion, a lot of sadness. And I'm sure maybe on other algorithms there's a lot of happiness, a lot of celebration, but I'm not seeing that. So I'm sharing this because this might stir up some ideas for you to work on a particular feeling. So once you have a feeling that you would like to experiment with this letting go process, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Relax the body and make any little adjustments and get comfortable right where you are. Knowing that this is a safe place, that we're just doing this short experiment of feeling a feeling, and within about 5 minutes it will be over and you can go on and get along with your evening or whatever you're doing. And so in this place of centeredness, groundedness, relaxed, easy energy, trusting and knowing that this is the perfect time to work through this feeling in this container of realizing wholeness with me. And just allow the feeling, whatever it is. You're probably thinking about it, which is fine. Think about the feeling. And then I want you to drop the thinking and just feel the feeling. Whatever that is. Just be aware of the feeling. Let it come up. Stay with it. Stay with it. Feel it in your body. It's just a natural feeling. People all over the planet feel this feeling. Just feel what it feels like. Drop any judgments. And notice it's just a feeling. We have feelings all the time. Drop any stories you're telling yourself about this feeling and feel it. As I count down, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll sit in the silence for a moment as you experience the dissipation of the feeling, and notice what's next, what took its place. Just pay attention to what you're feeling. Release any need to inquire or judge, explain. Let that go. And just be in this moment, feeling what you're feeling. Knowing that all feelings have the right to be felt and experienced, and in doing this, we process the energy behind the feeling. We let it go. We come to a neutral place of just being. Take a deep breath. Release the breath, let go, and open the eyes. Very good. So the more you practice this throughout your day, because this feeling will probably re-emerge, simply do this process for 90 seconds. Just allow it to run its course and feel the emptiness of the experience, the lightness after it's gone. And then go about your day. Don't give it much thought, just practice letting go and surrendering, allowing all of your feelings to be processed in this way. And just notice over time you'll get a clearer picture after you've, not during the process of letting go, but after. You'll start to see the thoughts and the stories and the beliefs that keep causing this feeling. And the more you do the letting go technique, the more this story, these beliefs, these thoughts will dissolve. And you'll be able to move through the world in a more relaxed and easy manner. Like the master teacher said, you'll be in the world but not of the world. Meaning you won't be swayed as most people are, as we can be, by our emotions. We don't get sucked in and then either repress, suppress, or try and avoid them by staying busy, or maybe a big outburst of emotions like anger or moodiness or sadness. That will begin to decrease. So let me know how this technique works for you, and peace and blessings to you wherever you are. We are here at the Satya Center, and we have practitioners that would love to support you in this method, in this technique. So lots of love to you. I'll see you next Thursday. And thanks for being here, and I'm glad that you did, and see you next time. Bye-bye. Peace and blessings.